I've been changing, but you'll never see me now. I've been changing, but you'll never see me now. I'm blaming you for everything.
And today we're going to do the Speedfeed show, okay? And what we're going to talk about today is pretty much the three most popular Speedfeed products that are out there. First things first, starting with the what they like to call the Ghetto Speedfeed, which is sold by MacroLineGuy.com and a couple other. This is the garbage disposal Speedfeed, which actually works pretty good for just a couple bucks. Probably the most popular Speedfeed that's out there right now is the Upfront products. Speedfeed was around for quite a while, and obviously now we have the brand new Speedfeed that just came out from Virtue, which is a step in the right direction for the Speedfeeds. Now, what's the lure of using a Speedfeed? The biggest thing is that you don't have to worry about opening up your lid. Now, you will sacrifice a lot using a Speedfeed. There's a lot of things that by switching over to a Speedfeed product that you have to be careful about. One, it's very easy for dirt to get into your loader. So that's one of the first things. Second thing is that your paintballs are a little more exposed to the elements as opposed to a traditional loader where you have a lid, where you've got a little bit of coverage and stuff like that. By using a Speedfeed, now your paintballs are exposed to the elements. So any sort of humidity, any sort of heavy moisture in the air, any sort of condensation, dirt, twigs, anything that could possibly fall into your loader is a lot easier to fall into your loader with a Speedfeed. Some of the other things that you will do is you will lose a lot of paint going to a Speedfeed. Just from walking around, you put it on your gun and you go to air up, you're going to lose paint inside, paint's going to fall out of your loader. So you will lose a lot of paint by going to a Speedfeed. It is a trade-off. You lose a lot of paint, but it's also a lot quicker when you reload. Me personally, I will have a loader, one with the standard lid on it and one with a Speedfeed on it. Just depending on the conditions that I'm playing in and stuff like that, I will go and alternate between between the two. Usually when I'm just playing rec ball or I'm out there by myself just having a good time, I will use a traditional lid. If I'm out there and I'm playing in some sort of scrimmage or tournament setting, I will go to the Speedfeed because that couple extra seconds when I'm reloading, definitely helps. Now, first things first, the Ghetto Feed. Does this work? Yeah, it actually works pretty good. The biggest thing with these is that they pop off very easy. Okay, you stick this on your halo, and it's very easy for this to pop off. So I do recommend doing the screw mod that I showed you guys in a previous video, where you drill through your loader, put a screw on each side, and make sure this is held in place. Now, the big thing with the Ghetto Feed is that when you load, you can't just pour the paint into it because the paintballs will not fall through. You have to actually take the lip of your pod, press it down in order for it to feed through properly. So you can't just dump it right through it, dump it right in there like you would if you had a lid. You have to actually take your pod and press down in order to give it a nice little hole for the paint to pour through. So that's the biggest thing with the Ghetto Speedfeed, is that you do have to put the pressure on it. Okay, but you also get them for $5, which if you're on a budget and you broke your lid, could be cheaper than buying a new lid. Next thing, the Upfront paintball products, the new Speedfeed, the Speedfeeds from them, these actually have really done a great job of serving their purpose. The biggest thing with these, and a lot of people when they first get a Speedfeed, is you don't pour the paintballs into it because they will start to fall out, as you can see. Okay, what you have to do is take your whole pod and dump it in there all at once. Okay, so that's the proper way to load when you're using a Speedfeed. Okay, so I'll do that one more time. You don't just pour the paintballs in through the top like this. What you do is take them and all at once, and now they're all in there. So that's actually the proper way to do it using the Upfront products. You need to make sure that you have almost pretty much a full pod, and the weight of it and the momentum all goes in there at once. So that's the proper way to do it. Now, Virtue has come out with a great new product which takes all the best traits of all of these and puts it all into one. The new Virtue Crown basically is a lot like the Ghetto Speedfeed, except for the fact that these little fingers here are extremely pliable. Works great, whether you have one paintball or 5, you can just drop it straight through. So, as you can see here, the paintballs just drop straight through pretty much. These little fingers that they have very, very little tension pushing up, but when you go back through and you try to push them through the other way, the way how they're hinged makes it very hard for the paint to fall out. So it's a great design. And something else that I really like about this is that you can set this up on 2 levels. You can either have this hugging your loader very nice and tight, nice and flush, or you can put it on the collar right here and stand it out a little bit. You give yourself a little extra room when you're feeding the paintballs in there. Great design by the Virtue loader. It's just great to see how the products have evolved from the Upfront products, which were pretty much some of the original makers of the Speedfeed, to the Ghetto Feed for the guys that are on a budget, got a broken lid, and now Virtue comes out with it. Which one's the best between all of them? Honestly, the Virtue. Virtue's a great product. It's a little bit more expensive than the Upfront. I do anticipate Upfront products possibly dropping their prices a little bit. I don't think these things are worth $20 when Virtue's selling these for $25. Okay, these $10 to $15 price range, still a great bang for your buck. Something else too, Upfront products is still making the speed feeds for the Vlocity, which the Virtue has not come out with yet. So that's something to keep in consideration also, is that if you have a Vlocity like I do, the only people that are still making a good speed feed for it are the Upfront products. So that's about it for the speed feed show. If you want to get one and give it a shot. Something else I will tell you is that with the Vlocities, these are very easy for the Upfront products to flop open. They're not secured down very hard. So what I do is I put a screw through the back of mine. I just noticed that the first time I ever took out an Upfront products on a Vlocity, Speedfeed on a Vlocity, every time I slid into a bunker, all my paint would get emptied out of the loader. So I did put a screw into the back of it. Hopefully you can see that. It's just a small basic little machine screw, maybe 1/4 of an inch. Just put it right in through the back, holds it in place, does a great job. So that's it for the speed feeds. If you're just getting into X-Ball, pick one of these up, man. They're a great little toy, but always do a good job of preserving your lid, your spring, and your lid pin. That way, if you're not really happy with it, or you ever want to go back, or it's ever raining, you can quickly take your loader apart, put your lid back in there, and you're back to where you started. So, this great for the budget. This still pretty good for the price. I think it's a little overpriced now that Virtue's come out with theirs, but still is a great speed feed. A lot of people still use the Upfront product speed feed. Virtue, this is probably the best speed feed on the market right now for the price. Awesome ingenuity, awesome design. Very, very flexible. Paint falls right through it, and you can adjust it to where you want it a little higher or a little bit lower. But great job on Virtue coming out with a good speed feed. So that's the speed feed show. Thanks for tuning in.